All right. Well, we've got Kat, the author of the article, on call. So let's talk to her.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll bring her.
And let's see if she has anything to add to the conversation. Just ask her some questions. I have some questions for her. She did a really good job on this. From a journalistic standpoint, I mean, well sourced, well researched, slam dunk.
All right, 1 second.
You get your medicine?
Letting her in the lobby.
You're still waiting? So do we need to go pick it up?
No, I think we will get it delivered.
Sick. Eagles land. Oh, she's there. I see her. Hey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
Hi.
Let me pin you so I can.
Yeah.
So, Dan, is everything all good with your side before
Yeah, looks good.
Can you pin her, or do I need to do that?
Oh, I got you.
Okay, thanks. Thank ya. Can the audience see her fine? Should I just start? Yeah. Okay. Kat, first of all, well done on the article.
Thank you so much. Thank you for reading it. I really appreciated hearing all of your thoughts going through it and going through all of like the receipts that the accusers provided, and your reaction to David's video response I thought was really spot on.
Am I going to be in trouble with Insider for pirating your premium members only article?
No, I mean, you know your fair use law really well. So
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you. So tell me, first of all, how did you get interested in writing this story? Because I didn't know. I mean, I've been pretty following all the Vlog Squad stuff, and I had no idea about these accusations. So how did it come across you?
Yeah, so honestly, after you guys started interviewing past Vlog Squad members, the Insider Digital Culture team, we started just kind of digging into the various people who had been a part of the Vlog Squad, and like we started talking to both like the former group members who had come forward to you guys, and then also other people who had been involved with the group. And from like our conversations with those people and our conversations with people who have just like reported on and are familiar with the Vlog Squad, we were able to find out essentially that there was this accuser who wanted to be anonymous, but who had this really dark story. So I ended up getting connected with her, Hannah, in the story a couple weeks ago. And initially I figured that Hannah's story would be a part of a much larger look at just like the culture created by the Vlog Squad. But then when Scotty posted his video, I just was like, oh my gosh, they're trying to shift the narrative before we even get a chance to see the extent of what people have again.
So you think the Scotty video was in response to your team and you inquiring with them? Did they know that you were working on this story?
That wasn't in response to us because we had not reached out to anybody at that point. But I did think, just having heard Hannah's story already and having that in the back of my mind, I was like, there's so much like dark stuff that has yet to come out about this group. And then when Scotty put his video out, and initially I remember like Scotty's video, when it first dropped, all of the responses were like his own fans. So it was really positive. And I thought there was like a real danger that just this very, like, as you guys have both spoken about it, like Scotty's statement, I was afraid it had the ability to make it no longer like a good environment to release Hannah's story into. Because I think I think the timing was so important with this story. Like if Hannah had come forward a couple years ago when David was still producing vlogs regularly and everybody was obsessed with him, I feel like she and whatever publication ran it would have had a really hard time with like defending her and the reporting from all of David's supporters. But right now, it just felt like there was a moment, and this was the right time for people to unpack like something so severe.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, as we pointed out, Dom's first accuser made a video and she got absolutely destroyed. And Dom was lauded even by David himself in the comments as like, great job, dude, owning, your assault. Yeah. Yeah,
I think the Ali Hardesty thing is so fascinating. And Ali's video, like obviously, like you said, it was dislike bombed. And I know a lot of people have spoken about how that impacted the trajectory of her career on YouTube, but it also empowered other survivors to come forward because, like, I know Hannah had like seen that video. So it was sort of like this culmination of like the more things that come out about the Vlog Squad, the more people are kind of starting to feel more comfortable saying, oh, like I can talk to my experiences as well. I think it like makes people feel less alone. And then also just in terms of what people define as those types of experiences, I think a lot of people tend to doubt themselves, especially in the immediate aftermath. It's kind of like, well, maybe I'm the one who had it wrong. Like maybe I should have done something else in this situation. And it takes like multiple people coming forward and saying, actually, the responsibility falls on Dom and David and the rest of the famous adults there, to not put like strangers in a situation like that.
How was, I know you had a lot of back and forth with David's lawyers. How was that experience? Was the team ever close to, did they ever were persuasive and like, I know they were probably trying to stop the publication of the article altogether. Were they close to succeeding in doing that?
I wouldn't say that. I would say like, obviously what's important in the reporting process when you have allegations like this is bringing forward all of the claims to the other side so that they have an opportunity to respond and like flesh out, like, even if minor details in the story were pointed out as like inaccurate, then that would be super important because ultimately the central claim is supported by all of those tiny details of what else happened that night. So like in the reporting process, I reached out to every single member of the Vlog Squad who was there. I obviously like reached out to Trisha. I reached out to everyone who's associated with David. And then I also individually reached out to like Brandon Calvillo and Nick Antonyan and Jeff Wittick and everyone else who was on camera at that point. And I think like with what David's lawyer eventually gave us as a statement to put in the article, it's, you know, pretty clear that essentially they just wanted to reduce how much of like the responsibility would fall on David.
Right.
But I think especially with this central claim, the fact that like it was Dom who ultimately is being accused of this act, the fact that he didn't have a response to it and still has not had a response to it is really interesting to me. It makes me wonder, since he put out that video a couple days ago, if like Dom will have a response at any point.
That video is kind of weird now. It's almost like he was trying to shift the story before the article came out.
Yeah, and that was so strange to me because I had reached out to him with that text message that Hannah had sent to him. When she sent me that, like she also sent me the number like that Dom had responded with. So I just like flat out texted him. And this was a day or two before his video came out. And I said like, hey, is this Dom? I think I tried to call him and he like didn't pick up and he was like, who is this? And I was like, this is a reporter. Like, is this Dom? And he was like, immediately, without me even initially telling him what the claims were, he was immediately like, I won't be speaking to any publications until I put out a video. So I was like, what is this video even going to be about?
So he didn't know. He didn't know what was the focus of your story when he put it.
Yes, and then the next morning, I like emailed him everything, and then he still came out with the video.
Got it.
So he probably thought you were just trying to get a comment on what he thought about everything going on. He didn't realize the gravity of all of this coming down on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timing and everything he said was just so bizarre, knowing, and then now especially looking back at it. Are there more stories coming out? Is this like your big scoop? I know you've been working on a lot on the Vlog Squad. Is there more to follow?
Yeah, we're definitely still working on like other leads that we kind of started tugging at in the process of investigating this one. And I do definitely think that there will be more to come from our team on this topic. With this one, I was particularly just like, Hannah's story is so shocking. Like, it's so severe. I was like, this has to come first and on its own so that nobody can be distracted from like what this woman experienced.
Especially with it being such a part of the vlog. It is so shocking. It's just crazy.
And so what do you make of she says that she thinks that some of the scenes were shot at a different date.
Yeah.
For example, the one where Dom comes out all sweaty and he's like, "Thanks, David." What do you make of that? What was your guys' kind of guess at why they did that?
Yeah, and when both Hannah and then her friend Sarah, when both of them were talking about this idea that some of the scenes were reshot, it all kind of tied back to what they said to Hannah in particular. She felt like the whole vlog misconstrued, which is the same thing that Seth, I think, said. Like, it was just this idea that David, in his editing, had like misconstrued what really happened that night. And particularly, like, you see the guys opening the door, like poking their heads in, and then when you see Dom and he's like drenched in sweat, I think like the image that's conjured up in the viewer's head is like, oh, like it was a success. It was positive in some way. Like, it's super skeezy, but like positive for Dom. But also, like, you'll notice that the girls aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just been completely cut out of the narrative at that point. And I think, like, to me, especially in retrospect, but even at the time, it's just like, regardless of whether these women were famous or not, regardless of whether what happened was consensual or not, like, you're choosing to only tell the narrative from like the male perspective. The women are literally just props.
For sure. And I think it really shows the level of, I guess, involvement on David's part, because it shows that he had a narrative he was trying to put together for his vlog. And they even had to go and reshoot a scene to make it fit the narrative.
And I don't think that's even a stretch to assume. I think he's known, even amongst his friends and publicly, that he's super committed to making sure these vlogs follow through, and that he's got this preconceived plot line.
Because if he just showed what happened after, it would have looked awful, right? Like, the girls, one can't even stand up.
Yeah, they're
puking in the bathroom,
blacked out. Yeah,
they could have never showed that.
That wouldn't have been funny at all.
No.
Right.
Yeah. I think David's even either described himself, or some of his friends have described him as more of like a director, which I think it has like a really interesting connotation to it, because the idea that David is directing the narratives of his vlogs, it makes sense. And then I think a lot of people have said, I think especially following the article, why do you even need to mention David? Like, why does David have to be a part of these accusations? Like, he isn't accused of hurting anyone, so why even mention him at all? And it's like, well, David is, if he's the director, then it's like he is the one who facilitated all of this.
Yes.
And that's what Hannah said, basically. Like, a direct quote from her was, I feel like David, in a lot of ways, facilitated my
Well,
work.
it's especially interesting when you consider, like, okay, let's assume that she's right and they reshot this scene when Dom comes out all sweaty. So that means that under David's direction, Dom thanked David, which obviously implies that David had done something to make this threesome happen for him.
Right.
Which they specifically reshot. Which it's really interesting that how they chose to convey that. But I have to say, I mean, as far as articles go with these kinds of Me Too moments and these kinds of accusations, is that there's always just enough room to question the accusations and the motives, but I feel like in the way that you guys were able to source this and write it, and the amount of evidence that the victims were able to provide you, I don't see anyone even doubting the accounts, and so I congratulate you on that really excellent write-up and a fantastic job with your sources, and really well written, and I think you did a fantastic job there, so great work to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that means a lot.
Kat Tenbarge? Tenbarge, I said the name right. Kat Tenbarge is the author of this article with Insider. You can find her on Twitter. What's your Twitter? Sorry, I'm not prepared. Yeah, there you go.
Just the name.
Kat Tenbarge.
I put it in the description of the episode too.
Good. And yeah, we look forward to whatever comes next from you. So fantastic work, and thank you for calling in. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Kat.
Bye. Thank you, Kat.
Bye.
So, well,
So wild.
we said it all. We did it all.
Yeah.
She did an amazing job, I have to say.
I agree.
I didn't know what to
agree.
expect, but like that was a slam dunk.
Especially.